But what I'm going to talk about tonight I'm going to make a bid for the value of self-reflection and self-consciousness in your own narrative presence in your work. I know that a lot of daily journalists usually meet with this idea of self-reflection. They see it as a kind of narcissism or solipsism, navel-gazing, softness, indulgence. But I actually think self-awareness of what you're up to as a journalist can be a very useful tool. And what became immediately apparent to me and persistently annoying and then made me quite curious, which are usually often stages in my journalism. I get really irritated about something, then annoyed, and then I start to wonder why that is, and then I start to try to figure out why that is what I found when I would talk about poverty and the devastation of poverty and the damage and the intergenerational stressors and all the things that this book is chock full of and every poverty book contains. I couldn't talk very freely about the joy that I had reporting, the fun that I had in the field work, the laughs, how much I loved my work, even though it was, I don't know if I want to say dependent upon the suffering of the world, but certainly participating in rendering that suffering. These were, I just could only speak that way freely with a couple of people who did this kind of work on that very subject. I did sometimes say, why didn't I do anything? I gave 11 years of my life to writing this book, and you're sitting, you read it, you know, you spent 4 hours reading it or whatever. And I mean, I was very amazed by that question. Why didn't I do something? Because that was sort of why I wrote the book, because I wanted other people to feel that they had to do something too. How I report, I'll just loosely describe this as a method, is I basically follow what interests me for a really long period of time until it starts to until I start to get impatient with it not revealing something new to me. So, for example, in the Bronx, I didn't find I didn't really know what I was looking for. I just knew it was a place I wanted to be for various kinds of reasons, a place that excited me, something I looked forward to. I got up in the morning, I couldn't wait to get there, and I trust that about myself. Okay, it says check time. That's when you're supposed to tell me. It's the first time I've done this index card thing, and it's the first time I haven't had a drink before I talk, so it's going okay. All right, so one of the main things that time gives you, obviously, and one of the things a lot of daily journalists ask is about relationship with your sources. You get to spend a lot of time, and there's a lot of advantages to that. Many of which would be obvious, right? You learn a lot more. You have a lot more time to develop a certain kind of relationship with them. I think time also gives you the right to weigh in a less annoying fashion. One thing that I really think I've learned in the process is you can't do this alone. But I really think having a couple of people in your life that really get you as you and support your deep passion. And for me, an editor is essential in that regard, because I don't think people do this alone. I don't think anybody does their work alone, frankly. So I allow myself the support of people. And some of that support is with dead people. I have a lot of dead supporters. People that I read a lot of books, and dead people often, books are the best friends, because I really think people tell you a lot of truth in books. And I think if you know what interests you and how you keep yourself interested, that you can apply some of that understanding through your narrative voice, and that your reader can partake in that wisdom, which is extremely hard won. I mean, all the stuff that you know has not come easily. And I really think that's a great sign of respect to your reader, and it's also a way to keep yourself connected and vibrant about this work, which I think is really amazing.